everyone, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network here. We are kicking off our season right here in the middle of July, getting ready for the Clash tonight, so you won't see me around for these Cup races on the broadcast too awful much this season, maybe tonight and through the duels, but it's going to be a great race tonight as we kick off this B season, winding down with some qualifying right now. We have about 5 minutes, or 5 seconds, excuse me, left in qualifying, where it is open qualifying. Joining me tonight in the booth, of course, is Dave. Dave, great to be back with you. Had a great off season. Hopefully you had a good time. Ready to get this ball rolling again?
Yeah, trying to remember how to do all this stuff that I haven't done in a while, so I might be a little rusty tonight, but that's why we do this, right?
That is right. It should be a great race here tonight. 50 laps here with the pool sitters from last year. We had a couple guys race in. I would tell you who it is, but I am not sure who raced in here from the Clash.
Carlos won in.
Carlos got in here. There we go. He's going to start 12th too. Doesn't have to start last. Should be a great race. Nonetheless, Tate Lytle out front, well faster than everyone else. As we did have open qualifying, just a little fun drafting session there. So Tate's able to get the pool by nearly half a second over Wilkinson. Chad's going to start third. Jared Rexing, Fody, David Tooker, Caleb Cumer, Jay Canor, Ethan Stanley, Gerald Campbell round out the top 10. As we wait for qualifying to wind down, I hope I didn't just call that a little bit too soon. I think everybody's finished.
Yeah, it says it's finished. It just hasn't popped up the grid yet, so I can show you the grid. There, it's getting ready to go. Now we should be able to show it.
Got some new faces and some new places, or, well, old faces in new places. I believe Tate Lytle, there, the pool sitter, has moved over to Tyler Fody's team, Lake Norman, this season, replacing Ethan Stanley, who has left, and I would love to tell you what team he went to, but I cannot remember.
And on 199, I believe.
To. Yeah, there you go, 199. That sounds right. I thought it was a number I couldn't remember. Of course, David Tooker's back out here. Tyler Fody out here, going to start 5th here. Got that shuffle going on. Caleb Cumer. You see Gerald Campbell back there. There you see Carlos right there at the bottom. Big discrepancy in these times, like I mentioned there with the open session, all about how you get that toe. See Josh Adams back there, Cale Pocock, Scott Crump going to come from the back, Jeff Green, Weeks, Abbott, Sam Boutwell, and Dylan Javier rounding out this group of cars. Just 20 cars set for 50 laps. Not sure how many pit stops it's going to have to be tonight. I'm guessing probably 1. But it all depends on when the cautions fall, you know, how all that works out. And if it is just 1, is it 2 tires? Is it 4 tires? Especially if it happens under green. And Dave, you and I were talking here before this broadcast about we think we'll see some cautions tonight and some different things. But let's just say, for example, this race goes caution free. They could only run about 38 laps or so on fuel, so they'll have to probably do some 2-tire stops, maybe some fuel only. You know, 10-12 laps of fuel is all you're going to need there in the middle of this race at some point. Would be very interesting if it went caution free, although I know, like I mentioned, Dave, both you and I said probably very, very slim chance of that happening.
Yeah, so who do we think is going to be the favorite tonight? Do we got Brandon Wilkinson coming back as the returning champion to be favorite?
Well, Daytona is a crapshoot. It looks like Brandon's getting an EOL here for some reason. So he is going to the back. So logic says that should eliminate him from being picked, but we all know this is Daytona. So 20-car field. He could be leading by lap 3. I mean, just
very true.
It's straight up, honestly, it's going to be crazy. I think some good drafters. I look at Jeff Green. I look at Josh Adams. You know, Fody. I think Tooker's a guy that always seems to be up at the front at the end of these races. Matthew Weeks. I think the winner's probably going to come from that group. And if I had to pick one to win the Clash tonight, I think, man, I don't know. I think I'll take Josh Adams to get it done. He's due for something good to happen here in Elite, and it's been a while. So I'll put it over there to you, Dave. Who do you got?
Oh, I'll take Gerald Campbell just to be fun. Didn't get a chance to talk to him, so I don't know how he's feeling tonight, but we'll just say him.
Well, Gerald's going to be aggressive. He's going to be fun, and he's probably going to be he's going to be the show right there along with Chad, if I had to guess. But Chad starts pretty close to the front, all the way up there in third place. So these guys are going to have to shuffle Chad pretty early so we can have some excitement back there in the midfield. A lot of these new schemes out here. Tate Lytle, the 56 machine, this is the biggest change I think I've seen on that scheme in years. And I think it looks pretty good. It's a nice little change. It looks pretty decent. It's something new. You know, that's one that's been the same forever. Hayes car pulls off. Going to put the field in the hands of Tate Lytle. Green is out, and we are racing from Daytona, kicking off B season. Ready to see some great action out here tonight. Great pushes on the bottom. The top got a decent start, but if Jared doesn't get clear, I think the bottom's going to line up and really freight train these guys. Pushing 3 deep there on the bottom. Jared was almost clear into 1. Now he's going to be battling for second down the back. Tooker's a great pusher, and he's doing what he can here. Very well formed up, very uniform on the bottom of the racetrack. The top's trying to get it together. They're pulling back. They're really dependent on the side draft right now is what the top's doing to stay up here. But big push there from Tooker. Great side draft out of 4. That might get Rexing clear. Does he stay? He's going to stay. He's going to pull Tooker by. Rexing, Tooker. Jay's going to get pulled by here in 30, and he's going to drop to the bottom to get that push. Pushed by nobody right now. Tate's got to get up to him. There you see Gerald Campbell, third car. Third car on the top.
No bird this year?
Yeah, no bird tonight anyway, but he does have a big old American flag kind of design on that race car.
Bit of housekeeping on the tower. The bottom 3, 18, 19, and 20 did not start. Sam Boutwell is our race controller tonight, who joined us directly and promises he won't do that again. And Dylan Javier and Corey Abbott joined, but too late and did not start.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Here comes Tate to the lead with Chad going to pull out and push him. Oh, Fody with the late move to get up there in front of Jared Rexing. You know what's becoming apparent to me here? The third lap of this race is the inside is not where you want to be. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some big pushes down there, and you're going to get some big runs and be able to make some passes. But it looks like this top side is the place to be, is the place to still control this side draft, which has been so important here since this car came out. You get to somebody's right rear, and that side draft is a little bit OP versus what it is on the left. But there's a big push right now with Ethan Stanley and Jay, and they're staying away from that top lane. What they don't want is that top lane to come down there and get against their right rear, because as soon as they do, they'll pull them back. And here comes a Leighton Norgard as well, third car on the bottom. Stanley's going to pull up. Leighton's going to fill that gap. Stanley's going to come down the side draft. Maybe not. He's going to let... Leighton's got a quick hole here if he wants to take it. He is going to stay in line with Jay. They're going to pull Josh Adams. Jeff Green's coming up. Matthew Weeks. Right now, 2 cars clear on the inside. Almost 3, but the top's going to start building this momentum. Here comes Tate with a big push to Stanley. I think down the front stretch, they're going to have a huge run here off of 4. They're creeping down towards that inside lane to kind of pull those guys back. Very uniform up here on the top right now. Very good push. 12 has been attached to the 9 for a full lap at this point, so you got to think that 12 is going to be getting hot pretty quick. Oh, Tate's complaining about how hot he is. So Tate can't push. And that is going to really hurt that top side. They are just going backwards. Scott Crump's going to pull to the top there in the Blue Egg machine. Finding his old teammate there, Ethan Stanley. Going to see if they can't find some magic that they had last year. Tyler Fode all the way to the back of this line. All the way to the back of this pack. Front 5 cars, single file on the bottom, all the way back there to Brandon Wilkinson. And here comes K.O. Pocock right here. As well, going to get cleared. Gerald Campbell going to work on getting clear. All but just a handful of guys on the bottom. Usually we'll be able to see a big run when it gets like, oh, Brandon's going to pull up. He's going to pull back to the bottom. Chooses not to jump in front of that lane. Here comes Scott Crump. Here we go. Big run coming on the top now. Really good push. Stanley's talking about getting hot, so he's needing somebody to jump out in front of Crump. And it's going to be nobody so far. Here comes Brandon. Now pulls back with Scott Crump. 00. It's going to give him a push. Gerald Campbell, Carlos. It is becoming very apparent that if you stay in line, even on the bottom, it's very hard to be passed. A lot of separation amongst these front 5-6 cars as well. Nobody's really on top of anybody. It looks like that bubble a little bit. Not sure if these guys are laying off, trying to help that outside lane, trying to make a move when they get there. But here they come back with a little bit of a surge. Stanley's going to pull up, make contact with the back of Crump. Pushing off a 2. Here we go. He's chasing that right rear of Weeks. Cannot quite. Oh, Chad's going to look 3 wide. Chad wide for the first time this season, and he's got no help. All that did was hurt the outside lane more than it helped it, and nobody went with him. Chad's getting shuffled all the way to the back. Stanley now pulls up. Stanley might have pulled up because he was hot, though. That looks like a pull up and a lift. And now here's Tate on the back of Scott Crump, teammates this year, I believe, along with Tyler Fode. So Lake Norman finding each other, and here they come with a big run. He's going to side draft the 2. He's looking at the 22 now. Here he comes up to Josh Adams. Josh Adams pulls up right in front of Crump. Big push. He's going to get right around the 12, right around the 9. They finally built that run. They finally got hooked up the way they needed to. Scott Crump pushes Josh Adams to the front with help from Tate Lytle, Tyler Fode. And now the shuffle is on. Now this race has double wided up once again. We are 10 laps in. We are quickly approaching this window to be able to make it on fuel here. We're right just about on top of it. Big push here. Scott Crump moves back to the top. Gerald Campbell looking for a place to go in the back. Gets shut off. I thought they were going to wreck. And now this top is backing up once again. .12 is almost clear. You see Scott trying to work that side draft. And that's what you got to do if you're going to run the top. You got to get right on that right rear. Here comes the 9. He's going to pull up. He's going to try to pass Josh Adams. He gets to that right rear. That's going to really slow Josh's momentum. That's what you want to do pulling out of line, though, is what Jay just did. You pull that guy's right rear. Now you want to get back on him here in the middle of the corner. If I could talk to Jay right now, I'd be telling him, oh, he gets a big shot there. It looks like it upset the car. You want to run a little bit closer here to those inside guys and really try to pull them back. He's got a good push here, though. They're 3 connected on the top right now. He gets clear, pulls back to the bottom. Scott Crump's got to be loving that because he's going to have a big run here. He's going to be able to get down on his right rear. He's going to be able to pull him back. And Scott Crump will take the lead right here, working lap 11. Now 3 connected once again. I think these Lake Norman guys are showing everybody how to push. And what you got to do, you got to be super aggressive. And here comes Jared Rexing going through the middle 3 wide, shuffling out David Tooker. Stanley pulls up to try to pull Tooker. We're going to get 3 wide. Chad's right there in the mix of it. Fode's got to shut this off. Fode doesn't shut it off. They bounce off each other just a little bit. Rexing drops to the bottom. I'll tell you what, Rexing went from about 15th, 16th to 4th car on the inside in 1 lap. What a move. And now here comes Chad pushing Tate. And just as quick as I said those Lake Norman guys were showing everybody how aggressive you have to push, they got shucked. I mean, Scott was able to stay up here because he got to the bottom, but he lost his teammates and lost his help there. And now here comes Gerald Campbell going in the middle 3 on Chad. Chad worked his way to the front just to get shuffled one more time. They're coming up here on a lap car, but they are back to double file, so hopefully they can navigate this. We've seen this cause issues in the past. It appears everybody's going to get through okay. And Jay gets a move pulled on him there by Scott Crump, but that's what you want to do if you're going to get past. You want to get past on the bottom. Chad Frankenfield coming right back towards the front through the middle. Big push from Tyler Fode. Ooh, contact as Josh pulled down there at the last second to get that shove from Chad. Here we go, 3 by 3. These guys are trying to get a 3rd lane. Chad getting super aggressive there. Here, oh, Jay's gonna. That could have been a very correct right there. Jay reconsidered that block that he was ready to make there in the middle of turn 3. I mean, Dave, we're seeing Chad be super aggressive right here, right now. We've seen him get hung out a few times. He gets real aggressive hanging these guys back out. I don't think that is going to work out great if you're looking for help later.
Yeah, seeing Chad be aggressive isn't new, but yeah.
He's leading right now. He's got Tyler Fode, Matthew Weeks, Tate Lytle, and here they go. They pull out like they all decided together that they don't want to work with Chad. So now Chad is hoping Gerald Campbell will be his friend. And Gerald says, I'll be your friend. Let's do this together. When they got Carlos right behind them. Big push here from Gerald Campbell. They're pulling right back up through this field. Chad's going to get down there. Back up to 3rd. Back up side by side for 2nd. Inside lane stacks up hard. Big push here from Gerald. Huge push here from Gerald. They're both going to get clear. Oh, Fode got some damage. Oh, Fode's nose is destroyed. I don't know what happened to Fode's nose, but his nose is destroyed. That car is not going to lead. If we get a chance to see that nose on that 40 machine, it looks like he hit a telephone pole. Absolutely destroyed. Not sure what happened, if there was some kind of glitch or what, but I mean, all of a sudden, he just got a ton of damage. Yeah, that's not going to lead well at Daytona. Really, in my ideal world, if you're Fode, you're not going to want to lead this race again until, I don't know, maybe pit entry on the last lap. So, not sure what happened, what kind of glitch happened there. iRacing, we're seeing some sparks as these cars go through the corner. And there's a glitch in iRacing where, I mean, you just don't know when it's going to happen, but when the cars are sparking like that in the corner and you're pushing 3, sometimes 4 deep, it's something within the sim or within the code of the sim that gives the car a lot of damage. So they were going really fast with him leading for a second. He had a great push from behind, probably pushing 3 deep at least, and went through the middle of the corner, and something happened with the sim. It's not a new problem. It's been in the sim for a long time, and it's very unfortunate for Tyler Fode because that is going to be detrimental to his shot to lead this race. Here comes Carlos working the middle. Scott Crump's going to pull up in front of him. Jared Campbell pulls up there. They're going to try to take this lead back. Big push there to Gerald. From Crump, here comes Carlos in the ERN machine. Did he have to get the okay from you to do that, Dave?
No, not at all.
Oh, and Carlos is going to drop to the bottom. He's going to look to try to lead this thing. Not quite going to keep the push here, though. And he's going to get on the apron a little bit. That's going to hurt his pace. He needs Gerald to... Oh,
there
no!
he goes.
He's spinning. He's going to get it spun back on the apron. We're going to stay green. But he was able to get that sucker corrected. Not hit the wall head on. Oh, he's struggling to get going here. I think that all started into 3. Him and the 10 got separated, going down into 3. Then Carlos hit the apron and really hurt his momentum through there. Jared's trying to get back to him to give him the push, take the lead. And he just got to him with so much momentum, and Carlos was tugging on that wheel at that point. Oh, we're wrecking! Chad Frankenfield made an aggressive move. David Tooker's around. Tate Lytle is involved. Tooker is still spinning over here. Oh, man. Here we go. Chad's off, getting a big run. He's going to get this big run, and he's going to shoot right to the middle. Stanley's coming up through the middle. And I just don't know that that hole was there. Pretty aggressive. We've seen Chad do it, and this is the race to be aggressive in. But, I don't know, Tooker might not be too thrilled. You see a Leighton there. Oh, Josh Adams. Is he going to spin on this apron?
He's going to be clean, though.
Well, I think everybody's going to pit here. They're going to get to the end from this caution. I mean, Stanley got a huge run there. Man, I don't know. That's probably a racing deal if I had to guess, but just unfortunate for Tooker. Chad's going to get away clean. Not sure about the damage on Tate's machine. Everyone will come down. I fully anticipated fuel only or 2 tires, but I am hearing that there might be a little bit of tire wear. These guys might be struggling with the handling just a hair. So I am interested to see what these guys do on this pit stop. There you see the jack is up on that 10 machine on the 56. Everybody's getting some tires. Well, not everybody. Here comes a Leighton. Here comes some other guys that are... Oh, we got the 10 nearly wrecking leaving pit road. Yeah, there's quite a bit of tire wear out here, but what we are going to do is we are going to take our 1 in-race break here, and on the other side of the break, we'll take you to the checkered flag as long as these guys behave and take care of each other out here.
Since 2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to Worldwide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. The track that launched the legendary careers of Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. is now ready to write that next chapter. We're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers. And in the process, we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. NASCAR Weekend 2025, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs, the Confluence Music Festival, and now 250 miles of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 2 incredible races, 1 challenging track, a 3-day party of epic proportions. Go to www.raceway.com and lock in your weekend racing and camping packages for as little as $20 down. 3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to Daytona, where we are nearly halfway through the Clash here for our B season kicking off. Got Speed Weeks coming up next week. Right now, we got some guys on 2 tires, possibly no tires on that Caleb Pocock machine. Green is out. The 12's there with the big push. The outside lane, I don't think Jay was ready to go green right there. He looks like what Chase Elliott looks like here on Sundays when he's ready to go for these restarts. I mean, that outside lane, Matthew Weeks seen the light. He got out of that lane. 3 cars clear, just about. Here they go. They got good help now. Jay's giving him a big push. Not as straight as you would like, but nonetheless, they are moving back forward. I don't think Scott was a big fan of how not straight they were down the back. He backed off a little bit. Here comes Jeff Green pulling up. He's going to try to jump in front of Gerald Campbell. See if he can get the big push. The 12's probably pretty close to having to lay off of that 00. Gotta be getting hot. They've been connected for quite a while here. He might have an opportunity to pull to the top and try to take the lead once he gets hot. We've seen Gerald be able to push guys to the front. I think he's going to push another one to the front. Jeff Green pulling even with the 00. Pulling even, and he's going to be getting clear. I think Gerald's going to get clear. They drop to the bottom. Jay's going to get clear. Scott Crump with the push here from teammate and car owner Tyler Fody. Jay thinks about pulling up, decides against it. And Gerald's now going to have to watch as the 90 and the 40, along with the 50. We see these Lake Norman cars get lined up, but once again, they go to the back. They line up the 3 of them together. They drive to the front. Can they stay there? All 3 are clear. Top 4 are clear on the top. That's Caleb up there. I believe that's another Lake Norman. I think we've got Lake Norman 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. Ooh, Scott got a little bit low there. Fody almost. Oh, Fody is on his right rear at this point. Big push here from Jeff Green on the bottom. And now Lake Norman has control of both of these lanes. How long does Jeff Green choose to sit there behind the 90? Matthew Weeks going through the middle is going to send Chad towards the back. Lap and a half, Chad will probably come back through here with the big run somewhere, but for right now he's going to have to fall back unless Caleb can get up there and pull him. Does not look like he can. That's just too much momentum coming through the center right now. Weeks once again. He's going to do the same thing to Caleb. Does Tate cover, or does Tate give him the mid? Oh, contact! Head on in the wall goes the 11. The 15's involved. Caleb is involved. Right at the end of the backstretch, having a big wreck. Weeks is rolling around backwards right now. I thought he might go all the way to pit road, but I guess not. So here they are coming through the middle. Oh, Caleb came down there and got him. Caleb was trying to come down and side draft and kill a little bit of his run. Turned him. Caleb probably suffered the most damage there. I think Chad got very minimal damage. I don't think Weeks got a whole lot of damage either. You see Weeks just rolling backwards. I definitely think that the Caleb Cumer machine got the most significant damage there. Just 3 wide, and yeah, he just came down and got him. Not real sure what Caleb was thinking there. But nonetheless, that car is absolutely destroyed. We saw the hood fly up. It's very significant damage on the Caleb Cumer machine. Not often that the guy who causes the wreck is the guy who gets the most damage out of the accident. But that's what you see right now. We got Fody, Crump, Green, Lytle, and Campbell as the top 5. I don't know that we're going to see anybody towards the front pit. Caleb's going to pit. Chad's, so basically the wrecked guys are coming down pit road. And like I mentioned, we would stay green or stay here with you, but these cautions take a while. There's not a whole lot to talk about right now. So if you are going to complain about the commercials, you have to tell these guys they're going to have to keep this race green. So for now, under this caution, we are going to take another break here. So stick with us, and hopefully we'll bring you the rest of the race on the other side.
Since 2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to Worldwide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. The track that launched the legendary careers of Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. is now ready to write that next chapter. We're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers. And in the process, we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. NASCAR Weekend 2025, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs, the Confluence Music Festival, and now 250 miles of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 2 incredible races, 1 challenging track, a 3-day party of epic proportions. Go to WWTRaceway.com and lock in your weekend racing and camping packages for as little as $20 down. 3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the...
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen.
And welcome back, where we are going to be getting 19 to go as the green comes out. Taking a look here at Gerald Campbell. Out there in the American flag machine, right in there behind Jeff Green. And they'll be pushing on Scott Crump. Tyler Fody, the race leaders, picked the top. And during that commercial break, we had our old partner in crime here from last season. Going to give it one more run with us up here in the booth here for this clash. So, Jacob Adams, how was your off season, and what do you think we're going to see in these last 20?
Yeah, so far I've been watching a little bit of this here on the YouTube while I've been away, and it's a pretty tame race so far. Off season's been good. Trying to claw back into the ARCA points. Had some unlucky stuff there. Just really looking forward to get going here at Daytona next week in the Grand National car. But let's see what these guys have left here for the last 20 laps.
Well, what we saw right there was a whole lot of teammates working together. Gerald Campbell's not going to stay in line. He's going to pull out. We saw Fody get clear, the 56 pull up, the 90 get clear. Gerald tried to get up there with the big run of momentum, but I think he hit the tube before he pulled out. Now here comes Jeff. He's going to pull to the top. We've seen these two work together to get to the front. I think this is whoever is in front of Gerald on the last lap, I think, is going to win this race. He seems to be the guy who can be the best pusher.
Yeah, I saw a while back while I was a viewer. He pushed, I believe it was Chad to the lead pretty easily. And looks like he's given Jeff Green a pretty good push up here, side by side for second on the top.
Yeah, and on iRacing, one car at random when they load into the sim gets the old Dale Jr. plate. I think that's Gerald Campbell tonight. Trying to push Jeff right now. Tate's giving a big push there to his new teammate Tyler Fody, but he's going to move to the top. What does Jeff do? Jeff's now got a decision to make. Does he push the 40? Does he try to make it 3 wide? Looks like he's going to push the 40. He does push the 40 right now. I'm sure Gerald Campbell's pretty disappointed about that decision. 3 wide behind him, Matthew Weeks. We saw him in that wreck. He's trying to work back forward. David Tooker was in the first wreck of the night. He's coming through there with Weeks. Chad Frankenfield trying to move forward there as well. Oh, big contact there.
See Weeks trying to work through the middle. These guys know that as long as it takes to generate a run here and how hard it is to pass at the side draft and whatnot, you kind of got to go. And we see Weeks forcing the middle here, making up a lot of ground.
And for the first time tonight, we're seeing that third lane really work. And I think, I feel like that third lane, if it can stay there like this, that's going to hurt the middle. They've got good help now. You're getting side drafted on both sides in the middle. I think we're going to see that middle lane really back up, and there it goes. And Fody's going to pull up, make the block. What does Gerald do? He's clear to the middle to get in front of Jeff Green. Does he do it? That middle surging back. Jeff's got a big push here from the 11. But it looks like Campbell trying to give Fody a big push. And here
if there's
comes
ever
Jeff.
a car on the super speedways you want to follow, it's that 40. He finds himself up front of these races more often than not. But now he's a little bit of the middle here. Gerald Campbell's still trying to get to his outside. Scott Crump is now going to get up here and lead the outside line.
Well, one thing we saw out of that 40 was quite a bit of nose damage earlier. It looks like they fixed a lot of it on the pit stop. Of course, we'll never know, but whenever they're... Oh, and Campbell with a big move. What a move by Gerald Campbell there. And that is going to completely shuck the 40. The 90 came down to cover it, and then the 90 kind of slid up there off of turn 4. Gerald Campbell all of a sudden is going to look for the lead of this race at 14 laps to go with a push from Jared Rexing. Rexing drops to the bottom. Not a whole lot of help right now.
It almost seemed like Crump felt bad about leaving his teammate and gave the second thought to go back up there and pick him back up, and they're going to have to get their momentum wound back up and try and make another run because they've got no help up there. And they'll be the back of this pack here before too long.
Weeks with a big move there. Gerald drops down to block it. Jeff's trying to pull him back. Can't quite do it. Big push there from the 15. Gets the 2 all kinds of sideways. And Rexing's going to pull up to the top. No real momentum there for him, though.
Yeah, I don't believe that's a move I would have made yet. The top line was already kind of going backwards in his mirror. And he had it going on there.
We're going to wreck down here. The 9's around.
Oh, there he goes.
Hard into Chad Frankenfield. Oh, that's going to... Chad is completely destroyed. Fody's spinning out here. No caution.
Yellow.
No caution. Chad is destroyed. Oh, we got a caution. Oh, and Chad's going to come down and destroy Tyler Fody. Oh, my goodness. No steering in that car, but I don't think Chad was hitting the brakes either. Chad just creeping along. And there's Fody. That wreck was vicious. I saw Josh Adams miss it. I seen there was a few guys that were able to go through the middle and do a great job to miss that wreck. But when something happened to the 9 on entry to 1, and he lost all his momentum. I don't know if he lifted trying to lay back to get a run. I don't know if he got blocked. I don't know what happened, but something happened to the 9.
Just about Rexing. I think Rexing was in front of him, and did he maybe go and try and make a move and get blocked? Or Rexing was behind him and maybe tried going to the bottom and
something happened. The 56 got checked up. I wonder if that was that net code again where they accordion back because they're all pushing really hard, and then all of a sudden they get down in here pushing 3 deep. Right here, see, they're connected 3 deep. So they're connected 3 deep right here as we head into turn 1, and then all of a sudden the 56 is going to kind of lose all his speed at once, and it's going to come back on the 9 right as the 9 is trying to make a move to pull out, and so the 9 hits him when they get right here. All of a sudden, boom, big gap starts to form. It's like the 56 put on the brakes. The 9 pulls up, and it's like he put on the brakes when he hit him. And because he was out of line, the 10 did not get that checkup. So that turns the 9. It looks like they might save it for a second. Then the 9 gets way out of shape, and you're going to see him just deadly overcorrect and just destroys the 15. Then the 19 is going to get involved. Great job by Ethan Stanley, a Leighton Norgard, Josh Adams. Now, Jake, you probably spent more time on the sim than me these last few weeks. Is that worse now than it has been as far as the accordion and how we have seen cars, once they get to pushing 3 deep, it seems like every time there's a 3 deep push, there's some kind of damage or some kind of weird thing with the sim that just slows down like one of those cars, and it kind of creates that. Is that something that has gotten worse? Because I know it's been in the sim for a while, but I don't remember seeing it this much throughout a race, and it's only been 40 laps.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I know pushing 3 deep like that, it's not. It's usually the second car that's doing all the pushing that might be hot. I don't know. Potentially Tate's hot pushing there and just has to lift off and get a little bit of air, and then I'm not real sure there. I haven't really seen that a whole lot. Add on top of that all the sparks we're seeing and these cars like dragging the ground and whatnot. It's kind of a recipe for some of that stuff, I guess. I don't know. I don't totally agree putting all of the responsibility on that on the 10 car, but we'll move on from that, and hopefully these guys put a good last 10 laps on for us in this elite clash.
Well, and one thing I'm wondering, are these guys going to lobby for Chad to go in and make some adjustments for the 500 as far as not to make the cars drive better or worse? I mean, it would probably actually make them drive worse, but to get these cars off the ground a little bit. I think, like you mentioned, they're sparking through these corners where they're dragging so hard. I feel like these cars need to get off the ground some because, at the rate we're seeing this tonight, you put 40 cars out here, and they're going to be pushing 3 deep all throughout this field. Like, the way that it's looking, it might be a survival race next week as far as not so much the stuff you can control as drivers or missing the wrecks, just the sim stuff, because that's what I would be thinking as a driver is, hey, we're dragging, and so if we're pushing 3 deep, you're going to destroy your nose. We saw happen to Tyler Foda while he was leading the race earlier when they were pushing 3 deep, and all of a sudden they drove down, and as soon as they sat in the corner, it's like it just destroyed his nose. So that's what I would be thinking. I would be really lobbying hard as a driver to get Chad to get these cars off the ground, and if he chooses not to, I would be considering just going to the back and riding for a while next week, because you don't want to destroy your car over something stupid like that you can't control, and that's just some kind of glitch in the sim on lap 10 of the Daytona 500.
Yeah, I feel like every year it comes around to the biggest race, and there's always something that everybody says, oh, we need to fix this, and we need to fix that, and it's going to make the race really bad, and then they go on and put on a good show. Part of it, I don't know if maybe the nighttime track's a lot faster. The tire temps haven't come up as much. Cooler track, if maybe that's leading to some of this, and maybe we won't see it in the heat of the day during the 500. But it'll be interesting to see if anything does get done.
Green is out, though. Here we go with 9 to go. Big start for the bottom, but they're not. I think when we come off of turn 2, if it takes that long, we are going to see some kind of a big run on Gerald Campbell by this group of cars.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good start at all by the 11 in the outside line. I almost feel like Gerald kind of went earlier than he probably should have, got way out ahead, but also did Matthew Weeks maybe lag back to help out his old teammate and Tate Lytle to be able to do what they're doing now.
Well, I mean, and look at this. Gerald's going to be running dead last in a lap. I mean,
yeah, it's always, kind of common on the super speedways that you want to wait until the green flag to go if you don't have any teammates around you, and you really want to time the start how Gerald did if you have people that are going to work with you, and it doesn't appear like he had anybody that was going to work with him there, and he definitely paid the price.
Now one possibility that he could have been lied to. Somebody could have said, hey, take off at this point, I'll go with you, and they were all laughing as he took off, and they didn't. That very well could have happened.
Yeah, it's a possibility to see Rexton coming up big here on the outside. Josh Adams is going to pull up to block him.
And Jeff Reed's going to block all of them. 3 by 3. We've really not seen that top lane, as far as when I say top lane, that third lane, be able to sustain any kind of track position all race long. We'll have to see if that changes right here. Big push by Josh. They get to the middle. They side draft that 56. First time we've seen Josh really up here at the front at all tonight. And the third lane's they've lost their momentum right there. Gerald thought he was making time up, and he's going all the way backwards.
Oh, Pocock's going to make a big move to the middle.
Yep, Josh has got to be paying attention to his mirrors. Got to be watching for that at this point in the race. No help up there for Josh right now.
Here comes Rexing and Campbell, see if they can get him back up to pace. But it's going to be a couple laps before they get their momentum back to be able to get back up there.
And Josh drops in, and he's going to go to the middle. He's going to immediately start trying to pick his way back forward. Old teammates trying to work together once again right there is Fody with Stanley. They're moving up there on that top side.
Yeah, in a race like this where there's no points on the line, it's all just about going up and winning. You kind of want to try and take every
Jeff
run.
Green.
Maybe practice up a little bit.
Got him.
See what kind of runs you can make next week, and learn when it doesn't matter instead of having to learn through the 500 miles next week.
I'm going to tell you what, they just went into 3 pushing about 5 deep up there at the front, but we almost had a wreck on the back. Jeff Green came down trying to side draft Carlos, and there was actual contact made, and I'm very surprised we did not see an accident. 5 laps left, and we got old teammates on the inside lane with the 11 and 56. They're not teammates this year. We got old teammates on the top with the 91 and the 40, and there's a big push from the 91 to get the 2 clear. Now what does Jeff do? He stays on the top.
Oh, big move here. Is that going to be... How's race control gonna assess that one? Did Stanley use a little bit too much of the apron?
I mean, I feel like if he did, it might have been forced down there. That's a race control call, but either way, it got Jeff shucked.
A big move back to the top by Matthew Weeks there to cut off the 22.
And here comes Rexy and Campbell.
Yeah, the 2 cars we saw dead last a lap ago, and then all the jockeying right there, slowing everybody down, and those cars immediately back to the front there.
Josh trying to pull to that top side again, and we haven't seen that work at all, really, as far as like keeping momentum. And I don't think I would make that move again if I was Josh. I might be too late for him to get back up there, but like you mentioned, we saw Gerald and Rexing. And here goes Gerald trying to look for the lead.
Yeah, I think Josh looked up in his mirror. He saw our shift buddy back there in Wilkinson. Thought maybe they could make a move, and didn't work out for him. But they're still going to have 3 laps to go to see if they can't pull something out and get back to the front. It's double wide for the lead.
Well, he hasn't gotten there yet. Layton's giving a great push to this 10. They're actually giving up some time. Carlos won the open to get in here. He's clear to make a move to try to win this race if he so chooses.
I was going to say, didn't we see Carlos turned around on the front straightaway about 20 laps ago?
And we sure did, and now he's up here, got a shot to win this thing. Crump pulls up to the top. I think if I'm Carlos, you're out here not even supposed to be in this race. If I'm Carlos, there's no way I let the outside line get back to my top without pulling up in front of me.
Yeah, the first time I see, well, right there, Pocock's going to be the first one, but he's got no help. Josh
Adams getting a big shove. Rexing's going to try to shut the door. He can't do it, and Adams is going to get shucked because of it.
So we just saw Josh last, and now he's going to be last again because he moved to the top there, and he let Crump bait him and get back to the middle. And now Josh is going to have to go all over again. Scott Crump takes the lead. Tate trying to pull Gerald Campbell off his bumper.
Tate couldn't pull him off the bumper. I think if I'm Gerald, I was going to say I push him all the way around. If I'm Gerald, I push him all the way to turn 3. We'll see how this plays out, but we're coming back. Oh, Gerald's already looking for the top.
We've got the 31 and the 10. They've been the 2 most aggressive drivers this entire race. And they're second and third here on the last lap trying to go after Scott Crump to win it. What happens when we get back out of turn 4?
I don't know, but I think, like I said, I push him until down here in the... Down here in the middle of turn 3 somewhere. Here he goes. Oh, Crump blocks him up into the fence.
Side by side for the lead.
Carlos is around.
Carlos around.
Big wreck at the back, but who's going to win the race?
Weeks is
Here
going
they
to try and get
come.
to the middle. It's going to be Gerald Campbell, 3 wide for second.
Big win for America right there with the checker flag.
I got one right.
Absolutely incredible for Gerald Campbell.
And those two were last, 13th and 14th with about 5 or 6 to go.
Absolutely incredible. Out of Gerald Campbell, we saw him restart as the leader on the last restart. Get hung out, have no friends. And then drove back up through there, and Rexing said, I'll be your friend for the rest of the race. What a last lap. We saw Carlos getting churned over there in 3 and 4.
And we talked about having the junior plate, and he might. He brought it to victory lane here.
Yeah, Rexing is going to wreck there after giving his congrats. What a race, we took the white. Gerald tried to make the move into 1, couldn't do it. Great block by Scott. Then going down the back into 3, Scott once again tried to block, and I thought they both gave up their shot to win the race down there going into 3, because the 31 hit the wall, the 90 lost his momentum, but it turns out they were jockeying so hard behind them that they didn't have a run at him to try to pass them both, so they stayed out front. Weeks was able to get there, tried to make a move, couldn't do it, so Weeks ends up second. Rexing, Crump, Fody, Brandon Wilkerson, Josh Adams, Ethan Stanley, Jeff Green, Carlos ends up 10th, and the last shot we seen of him out of turn 4 was, we saw the passenger number. Tate Lytle, David Tooker, Caleb back there, Leighton Norgard, and then, of course, Chad, and Caleb Pacuma round out the field as far as being done there on that last wreck before that one. So I believe we have Matthew Weeks ready to go, so we're going to go ahead and bring him up, see what he has to say, and see what his outlook is here on the season. Matthew, great finish there. We saw you looking there through the middle 3 off of 4. Tell me what you were thinking there coming through 3 and 4 when you saw that block. I know I was thinking they lost their momentum and they were going to get freight trained, but did not look like they lost all that momentum, and not quite enough there at the end.
Yeah, I thought that block that Crump pulled, like entering 3, really killed their momentum. And I had a big push from Wilkerson, so in my eyes, I was like, okay, they lost their momentum, so I was like, I'm just going to hit Crump, push him clear, and then I'm going to jump up and try to side draft him a little bit, because the side draft is not as strong as it used to be. And hopefully have those guys come and block their run and carry that momentum. But it didn't work like that, but we was able to squeeze out the P2 and jump to the middle there. I think that's probably 3 clashes in a row. I finished second now.
Well, talk to us about what you learned tonight, what you're looking forward to in the 500 next week, and maybe some concerns you have after tonight.
Well, I haven't touched this car since the last race of the season last season, so I'm glad we do this, to start the season off as a clash, so to learn some things. And they did change the car, and what I've noticed is the side draft is there still, but it's not as strong as it used to be. And now the middle is actually working. You can actually make moves up the middle now, so it's going to be an interesting race. The one thing is I've noticed that you get hot quick, a lot quicker now, and it's harder to cool the engine down, and you could be like the 3rd or 4th car line and get hot as well. So it's like a whole management thing there too. So it's going to be different. I think the temps is going to change how the 500 is going to be, especially when we race into the day. But it's going to be fun. I'm glad we can make moves and actually do things, because I think I drove from like the last 15th up to the front like probably 3 or 4 different times, just going up the middle and stuff. So I've learned a lot of things where I'm able to make moves, and kept some notes to myself. I didn't want to tell nobody. I want to go out there and try to win number 3.
Well, all right, Matthew. Before we let you jump out of here and get prepared to qualify on Wednesday and to race next week, who helps get you to the track week in, week out?
Shout out to my boy Justin Vandermeer at JV Designs. He paints all my schemes and a couple other schemes in the field. Then John Cutlip at JD Designs. He paints a lot of other schemes in the field. So a lot of us know his work, and both their work is really good. You guys in the booth, you guys that show up on to do the clash. I think what y'all's Xfinity group usually. So it's cool y'all come out. Can't wait to go watch it back. Chad putting this on. Everyone that raced tonight, it was a really good race. It wasn't bad. There were some moments, but it's racing, dude. We had fun, and hope everyone enjoyed it. All the sponsors as part of the league, Pro Edge. I think Tucker was the only one else that's in Pro Edge that raced tonight, and the enemy Tate jumped ship to Lake Norman, so I'm gonna have to wreck him sometime this season. But it's good. I'm glad everyone showed out to race tonight.
Well, all right, Weeks. Congrats on the run tonight. Can't wait to see what you do on Wednesday, and of course, watching the 500 next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. So good luck this season.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, Jake. I think you're standing by with our third place finisher there, Jared Rexing.
Yeah, we've got Jared Rexing down here. Jared, take us through those last, I don't know, 10 laps or so from that restart. And Gerald fell back there. You guys were basically dead last and worked your way back up through there.
Yeah, that was wild. I have not done a super speedway race in these next gen cars in a long time. So that was completely new to me, and the runs were insane. And I knew as long as you were in the pack, you had a chance to get up to the front with how big the runs were and how big everyone was dropping off. And you could go first to 15th in a lap and vice versa. So it's good to have a teammate out there, and I was committed to him and him committed to me, and we had Carlos out there as well. He gave us the big push on the last lap in the middle of 3 and 4. I think without that, it probably wouldn't have worked out. So it took all three of us to get the job done. And this is probably the only time I'll be in the Cup car this season. So it was fun to get racy, fun to get third, and good to get Gerald to win there.
Yeah, definitely. So does that mean you're not making an attempt in the 500?
No, I can't imagine doing that for 200 laps. That's insane. I mean, kudos to these guys, because I'd have a headache after that. That is a lot of mental gymnastics going on in ice.
You'll definitely have to give Gerald a big pep talk pre-race then, because definitely your help got him up there to the win. So go ahead and give us your shout-outs and everybody who got you to the race this week for the Clash.
Yeah, just spun one off here. So I was helping Gerald and Carlos out there. They're for Do Good this season. So Do Good, I think, swept the class weekend. So just happy to get a good result for those guys. And shout out to my wife and rooting for me, and shout out to you guys for putting the show on. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Jared Rexing, who's got a third tonight in the 2025 B Elite Clash.
Well, we are joined by the man with the American flag now. Great looking car out there, Gerald. Not sure if that was going to be the paint scheme all season, but I think winning a Clash, you got to keep it now all season, right?
No, I got a really cool paint scheme. Hopefully, gets made here. Maybe I'll run it for the Daytona Duels. How about that? And then we'll see how it works out. But man, I'm just happy to finally see Victory Lane again. I forgot what it looked like.
Yeah, and it looked like you were probably the best pusher out there that we've seen tonight. We documented that at about the halfway point of the race, and we said you had that junior plate tonight. But you took off there with 9 to go as the leader on the restart, and when you came back around, you were in last place as you had no friends when you took off. Nobody pushed you. Everybody passed you, and you had to do it pretty much on your own until you found Jared. So talk to us about that whole deal.
Man, they really shoved one into me. They sent me to the shadow realm there on that one restart. They played that one out perfectly just to throw me into the back. But I was a really good pusher because I didn't care about wrecking tonight. It was all go, no stop on that one. And it shipped me all the way back there. We found Jared, and I think ultimately Jared and I finding each other back there and getting up to the front was ultimately what helped us get to the victory, because you needed teammates so much in this drafting package. And just so happened Jared was lined up with me when we got back up there, and man, we were going to be hard to beat. But coming to the checker flag, I saw Crump was going to have a run, probably get by me at the checker flag line, but I saw who was behind him, Matthew Weeks, and I left just enough room in case Matthew Weeks was going to try to force it 3 wide, because I knew Jared was going to follow me. And of course he did. Right there, he took it 3 wide, and he was able to get me enough speed to clear myself out right at the checker flag line. So just all played out like super slow motion tonight, and that hasn't happened in a while. I've been really bad lately, so I needed this.
That is incredible that's what you were thinking coming through 3 and 4, knowing that there's 2 guys down there who don't like each other, and knowing that instead of working together, if you gave them enough room, you knew Weeks was going to move up and make it 3 wide. There was no way he was going to push that 90 to the lead. That's that's big brain move right there.
I knew there was. I mean, when I hit the wall coming out of going down the back straightaway, because Crump was putting on some massive blocks, which he's known for doing. He can do that, but I had to make such a run move to try to get that outside lane from him, and I just did. I hit the wall and lost a lot of momentum. So right then, my brain started racking, like, all right, where's everyone at? Looking at the ticker, saying who was coming, and I guess there was a wreck back there, because I was expecting to be a huge freight train, and it was coming, but not the amount of speed or the cars. So I knew who was on the bottom. I knew Jared was behind me. I at that point, there was no looking behind me. I knew who was behind me. I knew Jared was going to follow me. It was now looking to the inside lane to see what was going to happen down there, and that was just the play to see what was going to happen. So I knew when it comes to the end, everyone's going to try to go out for each other except for teammates, and that's what I was hoping for, and it just worked out.
Well, Gerald, before we let you get out here and celebrate, we want to ask who helps get you to the track week in, week out here, and some new teammates this season.
Yeah, so happy to have Do Good joined up with Do Good. Some really nice guys over there with Goody and with Dusty, and Carlos now on the team. He ran phenomenal. It was a Do Good knockout tonight. We just knocked him out. We got the early clash going on with Carlos winning it, and then with me coming out. So Do Good right now is coming out hard. We're knocking some teeth in. We lost. Jeff Green decided he didn't want to play Do Good racing tonight. Now look who's in the championship winning car right now. So I wish it was for points. I wish it was for points tonight, but we're going to see how Daytona goes. I'm looking forward to it.
And what about some sponsors? Who you got on the car?
I don't know. I picked something on that looked patriotic. American flag. Go USA.
I'll
go
tell you
America.
this. I'll tell you this. I'm going to do a solid for Do Good, because Mrs. Goody's Goodies,
There you
homemade
go.
towns, handmade items, homemade towels, not towns. Cannot make your own town, I don't believe. You'd have to check with that. Tell him we sent you.
They sent me a towel for my son, and my son loves that towel. It is his favorite towel. He's got him a little shark one. So Mrs. Goody's Goodies and all the stuff that they are able to produce. If you want to get one of them, you can't buy something like that in the store. It's something made from the heart and special. So yeah, my son absolutely loves his little shark towel. So yeah, get a hold of them if you want to get one of them. And I think he has some other ones. I think there's an alligator. Don't quote me exactly what they have, but whatever they have on there, it's made from quality stuff. Like my son tears up everything, and he hasn't torn that up yet. So now I'm gonna have to try to calm down, try to see if I can put the baby back to sleep, because I just woke up everyone in the house tonight.
Well, all right, Gerald, congrats on the win. What a way to start off Speed Weeks. Good luck in qualifying, and good luck next week in the Daytona 500.
Thank you guys for broadcasting tonight, and thanks everyone for watching and tuning in for this race. And I just beat your favorite driver.
You were my pick, Gerald. I didn't jinx you tonight.
Wow, Dave, you actually had faith in me.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. It would have been nice to have you out here, Dave. Did you try the clash out, or were you all broadcast tonight?
I'm on broadcast duty. I'm not eligible.
Well, we'll have to get you. We'll have to push you to the win on Sunday night or Monday nights.
Well, you heard it here first. Not me. I'm not racing. So
Neither am I. I'm broadcasted on Monday. I don't know. How about Sundays?
thought
How
you were
about
in
Sundays
Florida.
and trucks?
Sundays, there you go.
Yeah, there you
Sure,
go.
I'll put you to that one too. All right, boys. I'm gonna get off and celebrate with my wife and go to bed here. But thank you guys again, and can't wait to see you guys back here on Wednesday.
all right, good luck, Gerald. Well, you heard it here first. It sounds like Dave's going to win next Sunday. He's getting pushed. So congrats. Let me be the first one to say congrats, Dave.
Thanks, man.
On your first truck win next week.
Take it to the bank.
But nonetheless, it was a good race tonight. We saw some chaos. We saw some aggression. It was just 20 cars, so we couldn't see too awful much. But we did have Chad Frankenfield out there and some of these other guys who like to be aggressive, like Gerald. You know, Gerald's known for being aggressive, and you heard him say the reason he was the best pusher is because he didn't care if he wrecked somebody. So that's what it's going to take. That's what you're going to see turn on at the end of the Daytona 500 here in, I guess, about 10 days' time or so. So should be a lot of fun. Should be a crazy race. Shout out to Dave, everybody at Elite Racing Network here for putting this broadcast on tonight. Shout out to Jake for coming back. We don't typically do the Cup broadcast, and you got the B crew or the C crew, depending on how you look at it. But nonetheless, it was fun. Great for our only Cup broadcast of the season. Any final thoughts from you, Jake, or you, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, just a great way to kick off Speed Weeks here. Nice, aggressive, short race here. A lot of fireworks at the end. Gerald Campbell, the winner. We'll go on to see how qualifying goes for the 500. The 500 kicked off next week. I believe we got trucks and Xfinity coming up also. I'll be in that Xfinity race, so looking forward to that, and just looking forward to a great season all around from all of our series.
Yeah, we got 2003 tomorrow at Watkins Glen, and then we got qualifying for the Daytona 500 on Wednesday. Indy cars start to kick off the season at Homestead on Thursday.
Well, there you go. The full slate is back. We've had 6 weeks of rest. Does that sound right, guys? Maybe?
Yeah, we'll go with it.
6 weeks of rest, and now she's roaring back to life every day of the week, just about. I know the 2003 series has been going, but we've been kind of spotty. We've been racing a week, an off a week, but now we're going to roll in. It's going to be Mondays. It's going to be Tuesdays. It's going to be Sundays. It's going to be Wednesdays. It's going to be Thursday. We are back. Elite Racing Network is where you'll be able to find all these races nearly every day of the week, and it should be a great time, so stick with us, and the Cup crew will be back, I believe, for Wednesday's qualifying. Don't quote me on that.
Yes, we
Might
will.
be some drivers. There you go. There you heard it from Dave. The Cup crew will be back. Might be some drivers stopping in. Gives you a chance to talk about these guys switching teams and whatnot. So do not sleep on that broadcast Wednesday for qualifying, and then of course the big Daytona 500 next week. So stick to Elite Racing Network. Find all their socials there on X, on Facebook. It's anywhere and everywhere. I believe they have something up for you to go and see the schedule. So make sure you tune in all season long. But that's going to do it from Daytona for the Clash. We'll be back with you tomorrow night for the 2003 series at Watkins Glen.